You would think with such a prestigious award ceremony, we'd have trophies, and I wouldn't be doing it in my car on my way to work. But no, we're here in my car. We are on Ayland Avenue in, I think, Roxbury or Succasunna. And here are your GNL 13 awards. Hit the music. Alright, cool. So, GNL awards. Woo! We're going to start with the fantasy players that excelled in their individual positions, the players that performed better than the rest, according to experts. The best quarterback of the 2022 fantasy regular season is Jalen Hurts from I'm Jerome Simpson. And this is where everyone claps. I hope you are all clapping. And then the best wide receiver, that would go to Justin Jefferson. I'm leaving space so you guys can clap. The best running back goes to Josh Jacobs. Best tight end, Travis Kelce. It's pretty crazy that Josh Jacobs is the best running back. And the best defense, kind of surprising here, but the best defense in fantasy football so far this season is the Patriots defense. That they took over the Cowboys spot just because of last night. Pretty crazy. All right. We're going to skip the offensive player and defensive player of the year, the MVP. We're going to come back to all that stuff. On the docket will now be the biggest bust, like boobs. The biggest boobs in the GNL for the draft goes to, it's a tie. We have a lot of ties. A tie between Javonte Williams, who played 2 games and then did not play a single snap after being picked in the second round, and Kyle Pitts, who basically played most of the season and was just bad. The biggest sleeper is also a tie. This is all based on my decisions, but the 2 sleeper picks of the draft are Tony Pollard and Jamal Williams, both of which destroyed their ROI. Now, another award that we were giving out is the Biggest Balls Award. A player who exceeded expectations, met expectations, but also just showed that all they've got is balls. And that player is Austin Eckler. Smallest balls is the player with the smallest balls in the NFL. And this year, that goes to Jonathan Taylor. Biggest pickup of the year goes to Justin Fields, fantasy player number 6 on the season after not being drafted. Biggest drop, there's not really a biggest drop. We're pretty good at this, apparently. I would put Cam Akers and also Kareem Hunt on that list, but like, out of the drafted players, there's not really much as far as people dropping players that ended up, sucking. The most added player in all of the GNL, it's kind of a tie. I have most added, most dropped. They're both defenses. So I listed other players. The most added players, it's a couple of guys. With 4 adds, James Cook, Kirk Cousins, Taysom Hill, and Tyler Higbee. Me being somebody who dropped and I believe added James Cook, I also did that with Kirk Cousins. Matt dropped and picked up Taysom Hill like 5 weeks in a row. I know Walters had Tyler Higbee, I'm assuming. Apparently other people have also had Tyler Higbee. The most dropped player is actually Aaron Rodgers. It's technically Cincinnati defense, but Aaron Rodgers was dropped and picked up 4 times in the GNL season. Pretty crazy. Most trades is a tie between 4 people with 2. Myself, Matt, Dennis, and Frank. So Good on you guys for trading and not with Muhammad. I have an award for best and worst draft. No, that's a cool award. We're going to go with most moves. Most moves through 14 weeks of the season is Muhammad with 50 through 14 weeks, giving him 3.57 moves per week. Therefore, below the 4 that was kind of what we were shooting for. So the number for the move limit, it doesn't really matter. The least amount of moves through 14 weeks is Sal. Sal had 5 moves through 14 weeks, giving him 0.357 moves per week. Not sure what to make of that guy, but take it for what it is. All right. Best draft. Best draft goes to close second, I would say, by Dennis, but first place is Justin. I hate to say it, but all of his players have pretty much hit. They're hitting in alternating weeks, which is giving him the opportunity to get the record that he has. It's going to take 1 week of all of them together to win a championship, or 1 week of all of them off and not performing well to lose. But that is that. Worst draft, it's tough when you include injuries, but my history of killing players is seemingly alive and well. I did give it a Frank, but I definitely think that my team is a close second. Games played in relation to draft picks, I'm pretty much in last. Yeah. All right. So we're going to start out with the Defensive Player of the Year. This was voted on by me and only me. Defensive Player of the Year for the regular season, the GNL, goes to Dallas Cowboys D. Now listen, one of the best defenses in the NFL, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs is a bum, Leighton Vander Esch is annoying as fuck. They picked up Jonathan Hankins, former Giant and former Ohio State Buckeye. He played 1 game and got hurt in that game. But I am going to give the Defensive Player of the Year award to Cowboys defense. The Offensive Player of the Year is going to be Jalen Hurts. Just the amount of points that guy puts up with his legs, with his arm, it's remarkable, and it's elite. Point per game, I think Justin Fields might take it with his boom performances, but we are going to go with Jalen Hurts. And this year's, the first ever, the inaugural in GNL 13, Most Valuable Player Award is the player who is most valuable to his team. We're going to go with Josh Jacobs, a high value pick at where he was drafted. I wouldn't necessarily say he was a sleeper. He was still drafted, I think, 4th, 5th round. But the return on investment outshined every player drafted ahead of him. And a lot of players, basically every player. He was the best value pick. And none of us saw this coming. And, Josh Jacobs is your GNL MVP. This is a 9-minute video. It's the longest video I've ever made. But those are the GNL awards. Congrats to those of you who won. If your team did not win a single award, you're just so average that no one gives a shit about you. But I think it's pretty split. I think most people's names were brought up in this whole thing, this whole shebang. All right. Good luck to those in the playoffs. Good luck to those in the Cone Bowl, Consolation Bowl. We've got 3 titles on the line. Something about a penis, a cone, and a championship. And look out for your freezy forecast for tomorrow. Raise your hand if you want to buy.